Hey, welcome back to Planet Hex. I'm Andrew Horn, author of the VHS Ate My Brain books and originator of the VHS Ate My Brain column. If you saw my last video, you saw me hanging out with my mate Derek, who's a singer in the band I'm in, and we looked through a load of VHS tapes. And I realised, having done that video that we'd not done in a while, we'd not done one of those in a while, I've not done an eBay check in a while. So I've just gone over onto the bay and put in a horror VHS. So we're going to get a mix of X-rentals, sell-throughs, pre-recorded, and hopefully some weird stuff. But I just want to see what was available and what the prices were doing, because I've not seen it in a little while. Been a little bit busy with life stuff. Life is, is having a bit of a field day at the moment in terms of getting in the way of me doing other stuff. But, some of it in a good way. But anyway, let's check out some VHS tapes over on eBay and see what people are selling, see what they're selling it for, and see what condition these movies are in. And straight away, I've got, right at the top of this list is a Vipco Zombie Flesh Eaters. It's the strong uncut version on the cult classic Frighteners. Careful how you say that, especially if you've had more than one of these. It's a Vipco one, so it's quite heavily cut, but it's a fun tape to have. I had that one. But people are asking for $10.31 for that, or best offer. It's a $5 tape, that one, mate, at best, personally. We've got the Frighteners. Something I've noticed, there is a thing going on where people are putting across VHS tapes as a vintage or retro interest. And I get that. That's why that's one of the ways they are getting people to look at these things, because there is more of an interest in analog physical media at the moment. And I'm really pleased about that. So what do we got here? We've got RoboCop and Terminator. VHS videotapes, blockbuster horror, sci-fi, and more updated weekly. You see, I don't like these listings where it's a bajillion tapes. I like to see what's there in the list. Ah well. American Werewolf in London, $5.98. That's a sell-through, but it's free delivery. See there, that's $5.98, but that's free delivery. That's quite a bit that you are saving there. So you're only really paying like a £1.20 for the video, and the rest is all going on postage there. So that's not too bad. And we've got Exorcist VHS sealed and the Exorcist 2 Collector's Edition VHS videos. Yep, great for the Exorcist. Exorcist 2, no. Witchboard 1080. That's not bad for Witchboard. Let's see if there's any mold on that or anything like that. That is Cenobites_666. That is a user I've seen many times on here. If I remember rightly, they're a pretty good seller. So there's some wear to the cover. This is nice though. This is nice. The seller here is showing every aspect of the tape. So they've pressed the button at the side and released it, so you can actually see the quality of the tape, and that's looking good, to be honest. Yeah, there's some damage to the Guild Home video case as well. There is some damage to the cover, but that tape is looking in good condition. That's not mold. That's some scratches and dust and stuff like that. That's a nice looking tape. And what do we do when we find a good looking tape from a seller? We look at the seller's other items, because that is a really good way of finding some gems. There's 65 things up at the moment there. What we got? Witchboard, Serpent in the Rainbow, Pet Cemetery, Return to Horror High. Considering the market at the moment, 1080 plus 294 packaging is not bad at all. These are sensible prices for X-rental size tapes. 1080 for Shocker, 1080 for Creepshow 2. Creepshow 2 shite, but it's for 1080. That's not a bad tape. Wow, okay, there's a lot of Guild here. There's House 3, Graveyard Shift, Howling 2. 1080 is not bad for these. Oh, there's a They Live there. Excellent. Grizzly, the TV movie. Recruits. Yeah, so always remember to look at people's other listings, and you will find some stuff that's cool. So what else we got here? We got Howling Child 5 for $9.99. If you want it, why not? $11.99 for Species. Now, I think that Species is one of those films that is starting to get more of a retro following. Yeah, there were 4 of them, and with increasingly bad movies, but I like the first 2. I like the first 2 a lot, and I'm kind of on board with that price. That's free delivery. Again, free delivery. So that's knocking like £3.50 off that price. That's a good price. We've got some Carry On movies there. on VHS. Carry on screaming. Carry on screaming winkles. Behind, follow that camel and don't lose head. Don't lose head. £3.31 plus £2.94 delivery for those. That is not bad. That is a good batch if you are a fan of Carry On movies, and I am. Extremely random bundle of VHS tapes, including Sell 3, Box X, X Rental, and more. I'm going to have a look at that. I'm going to look at this one as well at the top. There's VHS vintage old films, 170 to 3710. I'm curious to see what they're charging 3710 for. Quite like these Goosebumps tapes. I see that they've got a market there, but that looks like it's got some mould on it there. The Night of the Living Dead remake for £10, free delivery. Putting free delivery on things is a really good idea. That's a great idea. That's going to really help people see these things. More Goosebumps, Jaws, Serpent the Rainbow. Seen that one before. Here's an example I made. VHS videotapes, retro nostalgia, lots to choose from. 80s, 90s, free postage. Again, free delivery is attractive. I will have a look at that as well, see what they've got there. So this one that's listed as vintage VHS vintage old films. There's a list where you can select from which you want there, and some of them are sold. But let's see what we've got here. There's some nice looking things there. Nothing that's like leaping out at me as being rare or, that I would want to jump on straight away. How could you live without a box set of Notting Hill, Made in Manhattan, and About a Boy? I mean, how can you do it? Was Mutant there? Porky's down there. Indeed. Highlander, perfect. I love Highlander. There's nothing leaping out at me, but let's see what they're charging $37.10 for. Doesn't say. Nah, well, worth a look. Right, this extremely random bundle. I want to have a look at this. These fascinate me, especially the handwritten labels that have been put on where people have recorded stuff from home. I think those are a great idea. Let's see what we've got in here. So you've got some regular movies like Lake Placid, Twins, High Fidelity, my favourite movie ever, Jeepers Creepers. That Jeepers Creepers has got mould on it. So that's getting some mould on there. Let's see what's on these pre-recorded ones. It's not the pre-recorded ones, the ones that people have recorded off the TV. If they've been labelled, that would be wonderful. Ooh, what we got here? Interesting tape. I can't read that writing. But I love this where people would put little reviews on all their own covers and stuff. I used to do my own labels for things with like TV show logos or movie logos and things like that. So I totally relate to these. What have we got here? Tom and Jerry the movie, Trading Places, and The Breakfast Club, back to back on a tape. Recorded off the TV. That's beautiful. That is a thing of great beauty. Extreme Sports. See, are they really that extreme unless someone's losing limbs and bits flying everywhere? That was almost my thought of extreme sports. Instead of rollerblades, it was like chainsaws or something like that they would skate around on. That would be an extreme sport. It'd be very short-lived, but okay, so there's lots of like South Park and stuff like that, but those that have been recorded off the TV sound great. I would love a look through those one evening. So VHS videotapes, retro nostalgia, lots to choose from. 1980s, 1990s, free postage. Bit of a mouthful that, but I get it. Gets the job done. That title. And immediately you're looking here and it's like, oh, what delights have you got in here? And it's all crap. It's all sell through shite. Yeah, there's nothing there I'd get excited about at all. So have a look at the list quickly. Yeah, that's all nonsense. So I can see why they're trying to pick it up with the retro analog, cool name going on there. But sorry, I'm old and I remember these things and I know what was rubbish. But we've got Midnight for $99.50. I've got to have a look at that. That is a good looking tape. Snake People, that was like an American one. VHS in 1971. Didn't VHS start in 74? Or have I seen so many bad movies now that my brain is literally Swiss cheese filled with chud style maggots? I'm gonna have a look at the back of that though. I'm curious as to what that's what's going on. I think it might be the movie. This was 1971 because I'm sure VHS didn't turn up till 74. 976 Evil for 15 quid. That's a Medusa video, but that is a sell-through case. Not quite as desirable as a big box case. Even like a battered big box is massive 230 plus adult VHS bundle. Bargain. Action, drama, horror documentaries. Love. There are tapes of love in there. Those are to be cherished. What else have we got? Night Beast. That's an interesting one. You don't see that around a lot. So yeah, even though it's a sell-through case, sell-through size box, that's $16.15 plus delivery. Not terrible for Night Beast. Killer Clowns from Outer Space, free delivery, $31.90. That is a drop in price from what I've seen recently for Killer Clowns. Killer Clowns from Outer Space is a glorious, beautiful, wondrous, beautiful, delightful work of art. Let's see what else they've got on their listings. So Killer Clowns Horror Job Lot for $12.94. That's good. That's a good looking bundle. That sell through, but that's a really good looking bundle. Same with Sci-Fi Job Lot there. See, these have done. This seller's done some job lots at decent prices. Let's have a look at this horror job lot they've got up. Yeah, Thing, Day of the Dead, Dawn of the Dead, Dead Zone, Jacob's Ladder. Not a horror movie, but I see it's adjacent. Halloween, Shining, Bad Taste, Wicker Man, Evil Dead 1, 2, and Army of Darkness, The Medieval Dead for $12.94. Granted, that's only been put up 5 hours ago. There's still like 6.5 days. That's right, almost 7 days actually. But $12.94 plus $3.42 postage for a dozen quality tapes. Sell through rather than big box, but yeah, that's a really good chunky start to a library. If you're starting on this journey, if you're starting collecting these movies, that's a really good starting point. Great seller. Look for stuff like that. So this Snake People, this is intriguing me. A cardboard sleeve starring Boris Karloff in the film, not the sleeve. So let's have a look at this. Well, there you go. Retro Horror VHS tape 1971, dated as 1989 on the case. Why put it as 71 then? Put the movie as 71 if that's when it was from, but that tape is from 1989. No wonder I was confused. Anyway, Midnight, this £100 copy of Midnight, or 50p short of it. Do you get free postage with that? Nope, £2.26. £2.26 collection. £3.38 postage, okay. But that is a good looking tape. It's Alpha VHS. Oh, it's a Betamax. The case says Betamax. That is a VHS. Nice Intervision case. And they've put some footage on of it working. That's a really good idea. I like that. Nice looking thing. Haxan. Right, this is from Redemption, so this is like mass market sell-through. But Haxan is quite rare and quite sought after. Although you can watch it for free on like this particular platform and things like the Internet Archive as well. Rare Dracula VHS tapes, price for one tape. If it was $5.45 for all 6 of those, that would be a really good deal. We've got the 1981 version of Swamp Thing, $9.74 reduced from $12.99. That's a good price. Don't see that one around a lot. Don't Answer the Phone, $31.90. Yes, it's Video Nasty's adjacent. It's a cut carton though. Shame. But there's some cool stuff around. Vampire at Midnight. Oh God, I've not seen that one without covering yonks. That is a Palace Premiere cover. with the gold Palace Premiere case. I love those movies. My Trick or Treat is like that, and I love that dearly. Let's see what else we've got on some of these. Elvira, Mistress of the Dark, sell through 1401. Easy to come by on a lot of the free streaming services though now, so that would be like a $5 tape to me. Is that an NTSC? Zombies Dawn of the Dead? That looks like, it says it's PAL. 52.69 with no bids on it. It does look a bit battered though. My Little Lie was alright. Okay, this sells this for me straight away. 6 times horror VHS video cassette, Mimic, Silence of the Lambs, Hannibal Warlock. In there, you've got Mimic, which is solid. You've got Final Destination 2, which is fun. You've got Hollow Man, which is solid. You've got Warlock the Armageddon, which is great. Silence of the Lambs and Hannibal, which are fantastic as well. That's a great one. £4 delivery. So for £13, you're getting a load. Sorry, £14, you're getting a load of viewing there. That is a good deal for me. Flying Virus, Sleepwalkers, Faust, The Corpse Vanishes. Don't see that much in that edition. It is a small box, but I don't see. It's not a familiar one. I got Eaten Alive on the Vipco Cult Classics Frighteners there, with no stills on the back. That's the Lenzi Eaten Alive. There was a Toby Hooper movie, Toby Hooper movie with the same title as well, but it's a title that gets has been used for a few things, to be honest, Eaten Alive. But that's an interesting looking tape. If you've not got that one in your collection, Ankle Biters in a hideous 2000s cover. Nah. Oh, blimey. We got the films of Jorg Buckerite. Yeah, the guy that made Necromantic. If you know Necromantic and Necromantic 2 and the other stuff that Jorg has done, probably not. No, just don't. But this is an original order catalogue. That's interesting. Yeah. Oh, so it's got Hot Love, Necromantic, the Totus King, and Necromantic 2 in there. Do not watch any of those movies around your family of any age, even if your family are just ashes by now. Just don't. Begotten, that is very rare. Surreal Cult Horror out of print. Yeah, you're not kidding, it's out of print. That was very, very small print. But that is coming over from the States, so bear in mind, tapes from the States are more likely to be NTSC, and you might not be able to play them on players over here. Borrower, epic. I've literally just watched this on Tubi. Here's a pair of movies to end this very well. So we've got The Borrower from 1991. Now, I did some reading on this, and my memory told me that it had been banned in the UK, but it hadn't. It hadn't been banned in the UK, but it had been lumped together with a load of stuff that had been banned, so it sort of got that reputation as being a banned movie. It wasn't a video nasty, it was too late for that, but it's a weird sci-fi horror movie about a creature that lives by replacing the head of the host body that is taken over. So it keeps tearing off heads and putting them on the same body, and I really enjoyed it. I remember there was a feature on it in Fangoria, which is where I first saw it and read about it. Oh my god, this sounds so crazy. But yes, do check that one out. That is not a bad price for that. Let's see what the sellers got else on their listings. Oh, they've got the Eaten Alive, Killer Tongue, okay, Haunting Fear, Gate 2, love that movie. Another copy of Alienator there. Yeah, they've got some good stuff on there, so remember, always look at people's other listings. So I'm going to end this with this movie, Alienator. Jan Michael Vincent, Alienator, the ultimate Terminator. I sound like Crichton when I do that. But just look at the 80s joy. Just bask in the tacky 80s sci-fi action delight of this utter nonsense. That looks like a later tape to me. But it's a blockbuster tape, so that would suggest that. and it has been sold it was bought at Blockbuster for $2.99. You can at least take that off. So that is a later tape, I would say, from like early 2000s, maybe, judging by the style of the cover. But that is like from about 1986, that movie. And if you've never seen Alienator, do track it down. It is available on some free streaming services. Can't remember which ones. It's like Tubi or Foursome and stuff like that. Do check that out, because it's 80s excess du jour, and it's nice to see that these things are still for sale and still available, and people are still checking them out. And it's interesting to see that a lot of these VHS tape listings are now, or some of those VHS listings are now including a retro analog, offline sort of pull with them. I do find that interesting, and I shall be looking at that closely over the coming weeks when we check back again here on the Bay. Thank you for watching Planet Hex. Please do check out my books, VHS Ain't My Brain 1 and 2. There is a new one on its way, and a lot of other stuff besides coming. It's been a bit quiet on the book front for a little while, but there is a reason for that, and all will be revealed soon, and I hope you will enjoy what is to come. But yeah, I'm Andrew Hort. Thank you for watching this episode of Planet Hex. Hey.